Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Thursday, January 26th, 2023. Welcome to day 737. The U.S. economy expanded at a 2.9% annualized rate in the fourth quarter of last year, beating expectations despite high interest rates and fears of a recession. For the year overall, GDP grew 2.1% after growing 5.7% in 2021. Most economists, however, think the slowing economy will slide into at least a mild recession by the middle of the year, triggered in part by the highest borrowing costs in decades. Moving on, Adam Schiff announced that he's running for U.S. Senate in 2024, seeking to replace Dianne Feinstein. Schiff has served in the House since 2001. "We're in the fight of our lives for the future of our country," Schiff said. "Our democracy is under assault from MAGA extremists who care only about gaining power and keeping it, and our economy is simply not working for millions of Americans who are working harder than ever just to get by." The 89-year-old Feinstein, meanwhile, won't announce her 2024 intentions until next year, saying, "I need a little bit of time, so it's not this year." Meanwhile, the Biden administration announced a 20-year ban on mining in the watershed that's upstream from Minnesota's Boundary Waters Canoe area wilderness. The plan prohibits mineral and geothermal mining in over 350 square miles, which are critical to a proposed copper and nickel mine that the Trump administration had tried to greenlight. A 20-year moratorium is the longest amount of time that the Interior Department can sequester the land without requiring congressional approval. Moving on, the FBI seized the computer infrastructure used by a ransomware gang that extorted more than $100 million from more than 1,500 victims worldwide, including hospitals, schools, and others. The Department of Justice said it used a court order to seize 2 back-end servers that belong to the Hive ransomware group based in Los Angeles, and the DOJ also took control of the group's website. The FBI said it gained access to Hive's computer networks back in July and acquired decryption keys that the Bureau could pass to victims to decrypt their systems, preventing more than $130 million in ransom payments. And finally, Florida students threatened to sue Governor Ron DeSantis over his administration's decision to reject an AP African American Studies course. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who represents 3 Florida AP honors high school students, accused DeSantis of violating federal and state constitutions by refusing to allow the course, adding that DeSantis cannot exterminate our culture. The Florida Education Department, meanwhile, says the class is contrary to Florida law and significantly lacks educational value. And in the polls, CNN says 73% of Americans believe House Republican leaders haven't paid enough attention to the country's most important problems. 67% say they disapprove of Republican leadership in Congress. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.